Thank you for staying with the NCN 6 o'clock news. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Donald Ramotar, has accused the opposition parties, in particular the PNCR, of giving unspoken support to criminal activities. This comes on the heels of the party's rejection of a motion on the successes of the joint services. Ramotar has also deemed the PNCR's allegation motion on torture as an attempt to tarnish the image of the security forces. More in this report.
The People's Progressive Party has expressed concern at the fact that the motion, which sought to express appreciation to the joint services for its work in capturing the Rondell Rawlings gang, was rejected by the main opposition parties. According to PPP General Secretary Donald Ramotar, this is a confirmation that the opposition is implying its support to criminal activities. He has also accused the AFC of political opportunism for failing to take a stance on the motion and supporting the allegation torture motion of the PNCR.
This recent act by the opposition parties follows a series of vicious attacks by them on our security forces. Almost every statement on crime and related activities from the PNCR and the AFC appears to be attacking the police and the joint services.
Ramotar notes that many police officers have fallen prey to the criminal gang, which has also committed some of the most atrocious crimes in the country's history. The party's General Secretary views the joint services' role in apprehending part of the gang and eliminating the other as worthy of appreciation and support. He has also reaffirmed the PPP's opposition on torture and its commitment to upholding Convention on Human Rights.
We have expressed it during the debate that we are against torture. We are unreservedly against any type of torture of people. We have fought against that. Many of our members have suffered at the hands of the PNC regime when we were in the opposition. And there is no way as a political party that we will ever want to use torture as a means of extracting confessions and things like that from people. So surely, I would just want to re-emphasize that we are 100% against torture.
Speaking about the so-called reluctance on the part of government to release a report on the torture allegation, Ramotar noted that quite a bit of information was already expounded during the debate by Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohey. He says the delay in this procedure could be as a result of the forces concerned over the security of the persons listed in the report. He has also questioned the motive behind the PNCR's threat to release the report, since he says many people can become potential targets. Reporting for the 6 o'clock news, I'm Shar Dalal.
Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon says government may be inclined to place public transportation under the control of the Public Utilities Commission. Dr. Luncheon says this can be done if the Minibus Association fails to lower the fares, even as government reduced the fuel prices. Details from Anika Jones.
Dr. Roger Luncheon says Cabinet has recognized that the Minibus Association has not made a commitment to lower the fares as government expects. He pointed out that when the cost of fuel had increased, the association called for an increase in fares, and now that it is reduced, they seem to be moving in another direction. The Cabinet Secretary believes that solution would be to have a statutory regime control the prices.
We're hoping that wisdom would prevail, that there is no need necessary to resort to such an option, since we do believe that public sanction and exposure will very well do it.
Dr. Luncheon says government has recognized that minibuses are private but noted that they offer public service. He adds that the option of providing state-owned public transportation is still being examined.
The reason why there was a view, one that is still strongly held, that even before we get to moving to put public transportation under the PUC, to examine the state providing public transportation. I don't know if you recall that. We went to public tenders and we started continuing to examine the cost of the big buses and the small buses, whilst concomitantly with IEB funding, we're examining the whole transport system to determine, were public transportation to be reintroduced, what would be the best way for it to be done.
The Minibus Association is yet to announce whether fares will be reduced following the reduction of fuel prices at the Guyana Oil Company. The association is lamenting increased prices for vehicular spare parts in an effort to maintain the present fare. Onika Jones, the 6 o'clock news.
The manager of the world-renowned Byron Lee and the Dragonaires band, Byron Lee, is alive but hospitalized. This puts an end to earlier reports which stated that the man was dead. Managing director of Mingle's Sound Machine, Mike Fong, told NCN Radio that he spoke with Byron Lee himself today.
This is not true. I got a call about it, and I called Jamaica, where I spoke to Mrs. Lee, and she was at his bedside. And I spoke to Byron himself. I mean, we know he's gravely ill. And when I explained to him, he was, barely speaking, but he's, then he came on. Mrs. Lee came on and spoke to me and said, Byron expressed it, he was crying because the appreciation that he felt that he wanted to behave so much to me in Guyana. But he's very much there. We know he's gravely ill. We don't know how long he's going to last. But, he's very much alive.
In the meantime, the show, which was scheduled for next Saturday featuring the Byron Lee and the Dragonaires band, is still on. The Ministry of Health is investigating reports that a voluntary counseling and testing worker on the west coast of Demerara is selling negative HIV and AIDS tests. Health Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy says anyone found guilty of such criminal behavior will be penalized. Details from Monica Jones.
There have been reports indicating that a voluntary counseling and testing worker on the west coast of Demerara is charging $10,000 for a negative HIV and AIDS test result. Addressing the issue, Health Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy says non-governmental organizations will be subjected to the same regulations as the public health sector since the perpetrator belongs to the private sector. He says this will make it possible for the ministry to monitor their performance.
Everyone must be accountable. And everyone must be equally punished when they do wrong things. This is a criminal act. And if it is proven to be so, then that person will be handed over to the police.
The health minister is calling on health workers countrywide to operate in a more responsible manner. He says any health worker at the VCT sites who conspire to conduct any illegal activity will be penalized.
We will now work at verifying that story and taking action. And action is not only to stop that person from working at that site, but from working at any site in Guyana, but also, if we verify it, to make that available to the police for action to be taken in a criminal matter.
The health minister also took time out to remove the allegation made that the perpetrator is attached to the West Demerara Regional Hospital. He says after investigating the matter, the allegation in the Kaichur newspaper proved to be false. Unika Jones, the 6 o'clock news.